The stars above Earth were calm, no explosions, no battles. It's just silence in the vast dark space. But deep inside, a government space station orbiting the moon. A strange noise had just arrived. Inside Lunar Station Echo, a young scientist named Dr. Sarah Lind stared at her screen. Her eyes were wide. Her fingers froze on the keyboard. For a moment, she didn't speak. "Commander, I think we just caught something," she said, her voice shaking. Commander Rajan Malik, a serious man with gray hair and sharp eyes, stepped closer. "What kind of signal?" he asked. Sarah looked confused. "It's not from Earth. It's not from our satellites. It's repeating. It's like a code. But the language, I've never seen anything like it." On the screen, strange patterns moved. In loops, the signal was made of light pulses and low sounds. They weren't human. They weren't random. Commander Malik frowned. "Record everything. Don't alert the public yet." The signal had appeared suddenly just 1 hour ago. It was coming from Sector 9, a part of space that Earth never paid much attention to. That area had no planets, no moons, just empty blackness. But now, something out there was calling. A race against time in the next 2 hours. The space station turned into a high alert zone. Scientists from all over Earth joined the call. They tried to break the code. They used old alien language databases. Nothing worked. In a quiet corner of the station, Dr. Isaac Monroe, a retired astrophysicist, was listening in. He had worked on secret alien contact programs 30 years ago. "This feels familiar," he whispered. He looked at the signal's rhythm, the beat, the pause, the echo. It was like a warning. "This isn't just a message," Isaac said. "It's a signal flare. Someone is asking for help. Or warning us about danger." The room fell silent. Not a natural signal back on Earth. Military radars picked up strange movements near Sector 9. Something large was floating just outside normal telescope view. It wasn't moving fast, but it was there, cold, silent, hidden. At first, they thought it was an asteroid. But the shape was too perfect. It's too long, too sharp. It didn't look like a rock. "It's a ship," said General Maria Torres, head of Earth Space Defense, "and it's not one of ours." Soon, news of the signal reached top-level government leaders. Many wanted to destroy the object, fearing an alien attack. But others wanted to study it. They didn't know if it was friend or enemy. But one thing was clear: it was old. Very old. And it had finally woken up. Public panic and curiosity, even though the news was kept secret at first. Rumors began to spread. Hackers leaked parts of the signal online. People made videos trying to decode the strange light and sound patterns. Social media exploded. Some said aliens were finally here. Others said it was a government trick. A few even said the ship belonged to ancient humans who had left Earth long ago. People were scared, but also excited. Late that night, a small boy in Tokyo looked at the sky through his telescope. His father had told him the stars never change. But tonight, he saw something different. A soft blue glow in a part of space that was always dark before. Something had arrived. The decision in Lunar Station Echo. Commander Malik stood before a large screen. The strange object was now clearly visible. It was shaped like a spear, long and black, with glowing rings around its middle. Sarah looked at the scans. "It's not active, but it's listening." The signal. "It changed slightly when we sent back a reply." "What did you say to it?" Malik asked. "I just repeated its pattern." Like a mirror, the signal paused. Then it played a new sound. One that almost sounded like a human voice. Everyone in the room leaned in. The voice was deep, robotic, but the words were clear. Awakened. Ally needed. Threat is coming. For the first time, Earth knew this was not an accident. This was not a random object. Someone or something had sent this ship here, and it wanted to help. Far from Earth, floating quietly in the black sea of space, was something no one had ever seen before. It was long like a spear, wide like a city, and dark like a shadow. It didn't blink. It didn't move. But it was there watching, waiting on Lunar Station Echo. The team prepared a special mission. Commander Rajan Malik looked at the group of 6 astronauts and scientists. They were standing in suits, helmets ready, tools packed. The mission was clear. Go to the object, enter it if possible, find out what it is. You are Earth-size now, Malik said. We don't know what you'll find. Be careful. Stay together. And don't wake anything you don't understand. The leader of the team was Captain Elena Ward, a skilled pilot and ex-soldier. She had seen combat on Mars. She wasn't afraid of the unknown. But this mission felt different. The ship out there wasn't broken junk, felt alive. Journey into darkness, the crew left Lunar Station Echo in a small vessel called Hawk 7. It took them 2 hours to reach the object near Sector 9. As they got closer, everyone fell silent. The alien ship floated in front of them like a sleeping giant. Its surface was smooth, almost like metal and stone mixed together. Strange markings glowed faintly along its sides, symbols from a language no human had ever seen. Alina turned on the lights. They bounced off the hull, revealing more detail. Scratches, burns, and what looked like impact damage. This ship had been in a war, a long time ago. Docking now, Alina said. Her voice was calm, but her heart beat fast. With a quiet click, Hawk 7 connected to a small airlock that had opened by itself. The ship was inviting them in. Inside the beast, the door slid open without warning. A cold mist floated out. The crew stepped inside slowly. Their boots touched a black glass-like floor. Lights turned on above them, one by one, following their steps. This ship has power, whispered Dr. Kenzo Voss, the team's engineer. It's watching us. The hallway was massive, like walking through a cathedral. The walls were covered. In more glowing patterns, some pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. At the center of the ship, they reached a large circular chamber. In the middle of the chamber floated a sphere blue, spinning, silent. Around it were empty chairs, shaped for beings. With long arms and tall bodies, this was a control room. A command center, then suddenly the sphere lit up. First contact, the lights dimmed. A soft hum filled the room. From the sphere a voice spoke, not in alien language, but in clear, simple English. You have entered vessel Orion 7. You are not enemies. Your world is in danger. The crew stood frozen. The ship was talking. Or maybe something inside the ship was using the computer to speak. Captain Alina stepped forward. Who are you? Why are you here? The voice replied. This ship was hidden after the fall. We waited for the signal. The enemy has returned. Earth must prepare. What enemy? Asked Dr. Voss. What signal? But the voice said nothing more. The sphere dimmed again. Back to command, the team returned to Hawk 7 and flew back to Lunar Station Echo. They brought scans, audio recordings, and thousands of images. Earth's leaders were shocked. This was not just an alien ship. It was a warning, a gift, and possibly a weapon. Sarah Lynn played the voice recording again. She turned to Commander Malik. We need to understand this ship, fast. Monroe, the old scientist, said something that made everyone stop. If this ship is awake, that means the thing it was hiding from might be awake too. The hidden files as the station's computers worked on decoding the ship's systems. They found something hidden deep in its memory banks. Old battle logs, blurry star maps, and one short video clip. It showed another ship, huge, black, with red lights. A ship shaped like a monster, tearing through smaller vessels. Explosions, screams, silence. Earth's warships had never seen anything like it. This was not a small threat. This was a galaxy-level destroyer. End of Part 2, the team had found the ship. But with it, they had also found secrets, warnings, and shadows from a war that Earth never knew existed. Now they had a choice. Use the ship. Or stay unprepared. And far away, in the dark, something else had started to move. The alien ship, now called Orion 7, floated in Earth's orbit like a sleeping beast.
Ow.
Inside, strange energy pulsed through its walls. Lights flickered. Systems hummed, but the heart of the ship was still not fully awake. In Lunar Station Echo, everyone was watching. "This ship is more than a machine," said Dr. Sarah Lynn. "It's like a living thing. It's waiting for something." Commander Malik nodded. "Then we'll give it what it's waiting for." A new team was selected. Captain Alina Ward would lead once again, joined by engineers, tech experts, and a young communication officer named Dev Patel, who had a gift for decoding alien signals. Their mission: go back inside Orion 7 and try to wake it completely. Entering the core inside the alien ship, everything felt heavier. The air was thick, almost alive. As the team stepped deeper into the vessel, doors opened on their own. Lights followed them, guiding their way. At the center of the ship, they reached a large room with a high ceiling and strange floating machines. The floor was made of a glowing metal like a smooth mirror. In the middle stood a tall black pedestal, and above it floated the glowing blue sphere, the brain of the ship. Dev stepped forward. He held a small device built from Earth and alien tech. It was designed to speak to the ship using its own signal. He took a deep breath and pressed the button. The sphere began to glow brighter. Lines of light spread across the walls. A deep sound filled the room like a distant storm. Then the voice returned. Identity confirmed. Human presence accepted. Command link established. The ship speaks. The crew stared in silence. This time the ship was not just repeating messages. It was listening. Dev asked, "Who built you?" The voice replied, "The Orion fleet, defenders of life, destroyed in the last war. I am the last." Captain Alina stepped closer. "Why are you here?" "Why Earth?" the ship answered. Earth was marked as a future stronghold. Hidden. Protected. I was left in sleep mode. Waiting for the enemy to return, Dr. Kenzo Voss checked the energy readings. "The ship is charging. Systems are coming online. It's waking up." Lights turned red for a moment. Then they turned blue. The walls shook slightly. The ship was powering up after thousands of years. A memory revealed. The crew followed the voice to another chamber, a memory room, filled with floating screens and holograms. The ship showed them a story from the past. In the holograms, they saw massive space battles. Giant ships with long tails, flying through fire, planets exploding, whole star systems going dark. And then they saw the enemy dark, insect-like machines, built for destruction. No voices. No peace. Only war. "They are called the Seragon," the ship said. "They do not speak. They do not stop. They destroy everything. They are coming." Captain Alina whispered, "How long until they reach Earth?" The ship paused, then replied, "They are near. I feel their signal. Weeks, maybe days." A new power back on Lunar Station Echo. Scientists were now able to connect Earth systems to Orion 7. They could see maps, weapons, and even defense shields. This ship was more powerful than anything Earth had, but there was a problem. To unlock full power, the ship said, a commander must connect. One who is willing to fight. One who leads without fear. Everyone turned to Captain Alina. She didn't speak for a moment. Then she stepped forward. "If this ship is going to help Earth, then I'll do it." She placed her hand on the black pedestal. A bright light shot through her body. Her eyes flashed blue for a second. Then everything calmed. "Commander Link accepted," the ship said. "Systems online. Weapons ready. Earth now has a guardian. Not just a machine as Orion 7 fully awakened." The team began to understand something important. It was not just a warship. It had a mind, a memory, and maybe even a soul. It had seen loss. It had survived war. And now it was offering its strength to Earth. But it had limits. "I cannot fight alone," it said. "Earth must prepare. Together, we stand. Alone, we fall." Orion 7 was now fully awake. The ancient warship floated. Above Earth, like a giant guardian, its glowing lights pulsing like a heartbeat. Inside, systems were running, weapons were online, and maps of the galaxy blinked on the walls. But one question remained unanswered. Who had built it, and why could it speak English? Captain Alina Ward stood at the center of the control room, still connected to the ship. Strange symbols now appeared in her mind, slowly turning into English words. She didn't know how, but the ship was teaching her, showing her suddenly. A door they had never seen before slid open. A narrow hallway appeared, leading to a tall chamber filled with fog. The air inside was cold, and the lights flickered. The team stepped forward carefully, unsure of what they would find. The cryo chamber. At the center of the chamber stood a large glass pod. Inside was a figure, a humanoid being, tall, strong, wearing black armor with silver lines. Its eyes were closed, frozen, asleep. Sarah Lynn gasped. "That's not human, but it looks close." Dr. Kenzo Voss checked the readings. "He's alive. Low heart rate. Body is in perfect condition." Captain Alina stepped closer. Her hand touched the glass. The ship's voice echoed in the room. "Pilot. No. 9. Commander of Orion 7. Last survivor of the Outer Fleet. Do you wish to awaken him?" The team looked at each other. No one knew what would happen if they said yes, but the clock was ticking. The Svarin were coming. Alina gave a slow nod. "Do it." The pilot wakes with a loud hiss. The pod opened. Steam escaped. The figure inside took a deep breath and slowly stepped out. His armor shifted, glowing softly. His skin was pale gray, his eyes glowing faint blue. He looked around the room. Then he spoke, not in alien language, but in perfect English. "You are the people of Earth," he said. "Time has come. We must prepare." The team stood in shock. Sarah finally asked, "Who are you?" The being paused. "I am called Kale Varin. I was born in the Alpha Spiral. My people once protected this galaxy, but the war ended. I was left behind to wait for the next." Kale's story. Kale sat in the control room, speaking calmly, his voice steady and deep. He told them the truth. Thousands of years ago, his species had discovered Earth. It was young, untouched, a safe place. So they hid powerful ships like Orion 7 nearby in case the galaxy ever needed defenders again. But then came the Svarin. Machines created by a lost civilization. They had no leaders, no feelings. They destroyed planets one by one. Kale's fleet fought to stop them. Most were lost. He was the last. Orion 7 was damaged in the final battle. I entered cryosleep and left the ship in hiding close to your world. Dr. Voss leaned forward. "Why English? Why speak our language?" Kale gave a small smile. "Orion 7 has been listening to your planet for centuries," it learned. "And when you replied to the signal, it adapted." Trust and doubt. Some members of Earth's command were unsure. General Maria Torres appeared on the screen from Earth. "This man, this being, how? Do we know he's on our side?" Captain Alina replied firmly. "He stayed in a frozen pod for thousands of years to protect a ship that wasn't even his anymore. He warned us. He gave us the ship. It's more than enough for me." Kale looked into the camera calmly. "I don't ask for trust. I offer strength. But the enemy is moving. You must choose quickly." Training the defenders, Kale began helping the team learn how to use Orion 7's systems. He trained pilots, showed engineers how to repair alien tech, and even uploaded defensive strategies into Earth's computers. In just a few days, Earth's forces became stronger, faster, smarter. "Your people are brave," Kale said, "but they have never faced true fear." He showed them images of Svarin fleets, thousands of dark ships, moving like insects in space, feeding on energy, destroying all life in their path. The Alliance is born in a global message. Earth's leaders finally made a decision. Kale Varin would act as Earth's new defense commander. Orion 7 would become the central hub of all military activity. The people of Earth watched as this ancient warrior stood beside human officers, sharing knowledge. Preparing for war, Captain Alina stood next to him and said, "We're not just defending Earth now. We're part of something bigger." End of Part 4. An unexpected ally had appeared, not a machine, not a monster, but a warrior from a lost time. He had seen the darkness before, and now he would help humanity face it. The enemy was coming fast. But now, Earth was no longer alone. The skies above Earth were calm, but the space beyond was not. Something terrible was moving in the darkness, silent, cold, and deadly. Inside, Orion 7. The ancient warship now fully online, glowing red symbols began to flash across the screen. Kale Varen, the alien warrior and Earth's new ally, stood silently. His eyes narrowed. Captain Alina stepped forward. "What is it?" Kale didn't answer right away. Then, in a low voice, he said, "They're here." The first Signalorian 7 had powerful sensors, far stronger than anything Earth had. Those sensors had picked up something strange, a cluster of objects moving together through deep space. They were coming from the void sector, a place where no stars shined and no signals escaped. Sarah Lynn studied the data on the screen. Count 217 ships, all the same size, all heading this way. General Maria Torres appeared on the com screen. "Are we sure this is the enemy?" Kale slowly nodded. "The Sphæren never travel alone. They come in groups. It's like a plague." Dr. Kenzo Voss asked, "Can we talk to them? Send a message?" Kale's face grew serious. "They do not speak. They do not answer. They only destroy." Panic on Earth's. The information was shared with world leaders. Panic began to grow. Some countries called for peace. Others wanted to attack first. Civilians took to the streets, asking questions. Were aliens attacking? Was Earth about to fall? Governments tried to stay calm, but people were afraid. Some even blamed Orion 7, calling it a magnet for war. Kale addressed the world in a simple, powerful message. "I have seen your future enemies. They have no mercy. They eat worlds. But now, for the first time, Earth is not alone. Stand together or fall apart." The ship's vision, in Orion 7's memory room, Kale showed the crew an ancient video from the last war. It was a recorded vision warning saved by the fleet before it was destroyed. The video showed a bright, beautiful planet, peaceful, full of life. Then came the Sphæren. Huge black ships with glowing red eyes surrounded the planet. They didn't fire lasers. They released something worse: black clouds filled with machines. They ate everything: forests, oceans, even the planet's core. In only 5 hours, the world was gone. Captain Alina looked away. "This can't happen to Earth," Kale simply said. "It will, unless you're ready." Preparing for war with Kale's help, Earth began to prepare. Orion 7 trained pilots from every major space program. Earth engineers worked day and night to understand alien shields and weapons. Satellites were turned into defense turrets. Human and alien technology were joined together. Kale taught them how to think like the Sphæren: fast, focused, fearless. "They don't care about your cities," he said. "They'll aim for your power, your leaders, your hope." A strange new signal then? Something strange happened. While monitoring deep space, Dev Pateler's young communication officer picked up a second signal. It was not from the Sphæren. It was weak, broken, and human. He cleaned the audio. A voice came through. "This is Dr. Evelyn Ross, Colony Vega 6. Under attack. Request. Help." The signal ended in static. Everyone went quiet. Vega 6 was one of Earth's far space research colonies sent out 10 years ago. They had lost contact 3 years back and assumed it was destroyed. But now they knew. Vega 6 had survived on. The Sphæren had found it first. The moral choice General Torres wanted to ignore the signal. "We don't have the time or power to go chasing ghosts." Kale disagreed. "If we do nothing, we lose a chance to understand the enemy. Survivors remain. They may hold important information." "This is not a rescue, it's a key to winning," Captain Alina agreed. "We go." A small team was formed. Alina, Kale, Sarah, and Dev would fly to Vega 6 using Orion 7's stealth pod. It was fast, quiet, and invisible to most scanners. Their mission? Find survivors, gather intel, and escape before the Sphæren find them. End of Part 5. The stars had spoken, and the warning was clear. The Sphæren were real. They were coming, and they had already struck once. Now, Earth had to move quickly, or history would repeat itself. In the silence of space, one warship, one crew, and one unexpected ally stood ready to face the darkness. The warning was clear. The Seragon were coming. For the first time in human history, every country united. Borders, politics, and rivalries no longer mattered. Earth had only one enemy, now a silent, unstoppable force from the stars. Inside the command center of Orion 7, Captain Alina Ward stood with Cale Varon and the rest of the crew. They had seen the Seragon destroy planets. They had heard the signal from Vega 6, and they knew. Time was running out. A call to action. In a global broadcast, Earth's leaders spoke together. This is not just a human fight. This is a battle for survival. We're no longer alone in the universe, but we are no longer defenseless. The Orion 7 hovered above the Earth, shining like a new moon. It had become a symbol of unity and of hope. Around the world, people watched as soldiers. Scientists, engineers, and pilots joined together under one flag, the Earth Defense Alliance. Inside Orion 7, while governments organized armies, Cale and his team worked day and night inside Orion 7. "Your weapons are strong," Cale said, "but not enough. I will show you how to fight like the stars do." Earth scientists learned to use plasma shields and anti-gravity launchers. Fighter jets were upgraded with alien tech to fly higher and strike harder. Human ships were connected to Orion 7's AI system for faster response times. Dr. Sarah Lynn led the tech teams. "We're learning more in 1 week than we have in 10 years. But there was still fear. "What if it's not enough?" Dev Patel asked. Cale looked out the window at the stars. "Then we die fighting. But at least we fight with purpose." The rescue mission begins as Earth prepared for war. A small stealth pod launched from Orion 7. It carried 4 passengers: Cale, Elena, Sarah, and Dev. Their goal: reach Vega 6, the lost colony, and search for survivors or critical data. The pod flew through the silent dark, invisible to Seragon scanners. Hours passed, and they saw HFY 6, broken and lifeless, floating near a dying star. "It looks destroyed," Dev said quietly. "No," Cale replied. "Look again." Colony part of Vega 6 was still active. Lights blinked inside one of the main domes. Smoke floated slowly in space. They docked carefully and entered. Inside, it was quiet. The walls were damaged. Equipment lay in pieces, but signs of life remained. And then movement. A weak voice came. Through a nearby hallway, "Help, please. We're still here." The team rushed forward and found Dr. Evelyn Ross, the woman who had sent the signal. She and 12 other survivors had been hiding underground, using broken systems to stay alive. "They came from nowhere," Evelyn said, eyes wide with fear. "Machines, like insects. They tore everything apart." A new discovery while Sarah helped the survivors. Cale and Alina searched the colony's servers. They found something strange. Blueprint. Not human. Seragon. Something else. Cale stared at the screen. This is not from either side." "What is it?" Alina asked. Cale zoomed in on the file, a signal. "It's from a third force." "Another race?" "One we thought was gone." Earth had expected one enemy. Now there might be 2. Escape under fire just as they prepared to leave. Alarms began to scream. Dev checked the scanners. 3 Seragon ships, closing fast. Cale shouted everyone to the pod. They ran through broken halls, carrying survivors and hard drives. As the pod launched, Seragon ships fired behind them. Stealth. Pod shook and sparked, but Alina kept control. They broke away barely, back on Orion 7. The team was met with cheers and hugs. The mission was a success. Earth had new allies, more data, and a warning. There is more out there than just the Seragon. Earth's final decision back on Earth. General Torres looked at the new information. "We may be facing a 2-front war. But at least now we know." Earth began building space defenses around the planet. New bases on the moon. Hidden satellites. Training centers for new pilots. Cale stood before the United Council and gave a short, powerful message. "War is not coming. War is already here. You must not wait for it to knock. You must kick the door down." End of Part 6. Earth had made its choice. They would not hide. They would not run. They would fight. With everything they had, the Sphairon were only the beginning. And far beyond the stars, something else had started to move. The stars looked peaceful, but peace was a lie. Above Earth, space had turned into a battlefield. The first Sphairon fleet had arrived, 50 black ships, moving like shadows, spreading across the sky, silent, cold, ready to attack. Inside Orion 7, Captain Alina Ward stood on the bridge with Kale Varin. The crew worked fast. Alarms echoed. Lights blinked red. "This is it," Alina said. "First contact." Kale's voice was calm. "Not contact. War." Earth's defense line, Earth's new space fleet, made with Orion 7's help, moved into position. These ships were a mix of human design and alien upgrades. Smaller than the Sphairon, but faster. Smarter Commander Malik spoke from Lunar Station Echo. "All forces, this is not a drill. Engage at will. Defend Earth at all costs." Around the planet, hundreds of satellites and defense cannons pointed. To the stars, the enemy was here. The battle begins without warning. The Sphairon fired first. No signals, no sound. Just deadly red beams cutting through space. 2 Earth ships were hit immediately. One exploded. The other spun away, engines damaged. "Return fire," Elena shouted. From Orion 7's massive cannons, blue energy blasts shot across the stars, striking the nearest Sphairon ship. Got it cracked apart and vanished into dust. Cheers erupted on the bridge. "One down," Dev Patel said. 49 to go. The battle had begun. A war of machines and Mindsvern ships had no pilots. They moved like living creatures, fast, perfect, deadly. They didn't dodge. They didn't retreat. But Kale had seen them before. "Use the gravity shift weapons," he ordered. "They hunt straight. You must bend space." Sarah Lynn activated the new systems. The battlefield changed. Ships started warping from place to place, dodging attacks with flashes of light. The Sphairon began to lose their pattern. The turning point Torians, Evan moved forward, slow, powerful, like a giant taking its first step in years. It charged its main cannon on ancient weapon known as the Pulse Core. "Target locked," Elena said. Fire. A beam of pure energy ripped through space, striking 4 enemy ships at once. They broke apart in silence. More Earth ships joined. The fight, pushing back. It seemed like they were winning, but then something changed. The flagship appears a new shadow entered the battlefield. It was twice the size of Orion 7, shaped like a floating insect, with spinning blades and glowing red marks. Kale's eyes widened. "That's a flagship. Sphairon Queen class." The massive ship released a wave of smaller drones, hundreds of them. Earth's fleet was surrounded. "Our numbers won't hold," Malik said over the comm. "We need a miracle." The Sacrifice 1, Earth Captain LT Adrian Cole, made a decision. His ship Falcon 3 was heavily damaged and running low on power. "We can't hold, sir," he said. "But I can buy you time." He flew straight to Ward. The flagship, dodging drones, shields cracking. "Falcon 3, return to formation," Alina yelled. Adrian didn't listen. He overloaded his engines, aimed at the center of the enemy ship, and smiled. "For Earth," he whispered. Falcon 3 exploded in a blinding flash, tearing open part of the Sphairon flagship's armor. The battlefield went silent for a second. Then Orion 7 fired again. The enemy retreats with the flagship damaged and half their fleet destroyed. The Sphairon began to pull back. Their drones fell apart. Their ships moved away, still silent, still deadly, but this time retreating. "They don't fear death," Kale said. "But they know how to regroup." Aftermath Earth had survived. Space above the planet was filled with burning metal and broken ships. The cost had been height-welve human ships lost, many lives gone. But they had done it. They had faced the Sphairon and lived. People around the world cried, cheered, and held each other close. Inside Orion 7, Alina sat quietly. "It's not over," Kale nodded. "Now this was just the test. The real war is still coming." A message from the dark as the team repaired Orion 7. A new signal came through, encrypted, complex, and old. This was not from the SVAR. On Sarah decoded part of it, it said, "We see your light. Remember your fire, if you are still standing." "We are coming." Kale froze. "That's not from the Sphæron." "Then who?" Alina asked. Kale looked out at the stars. "Another race, one we thought was extinct. If they're alive, they may not be friends." End of Part 7. The first battle was over. Earth had won, but not without pain. The Sphæron would return. And now another force was watching. One that remembered Orion 7. One that may not be so kind. A new chapter was about to begin. The battlefield. Above, Earth had gone quiet. Smoke from burning ships faded into space. The Sphæron were gone for now, but the silence wasn't peace. It was only a pause. Inside Orion 7, Captain Alina Ward stood at the viewing window. Earth glowed below, beautiful and fragile. She had fought in space, seen death, and faced fear, but this view still filled her with hope. Kale Varen stepped beside her. "They will come again," he said softly. Alina nodded, "And next time, we'll be stronger." Honoring the fallen across Earth, people held candles. In cities, villages, and space stations, they remembered the heroes who had fought and died in the battle.lt. Adrian Cole, who had sacrificed himself to stop the Sphæron flagship, became a symbol of courage. Statues were built, schools were named after him, children learned his story. Commander Malik spoke during the memorial. "I lost many, but we found something greater: unity. We fought together, and we will rise together, rebuilding Eartha." Damage from the battle was deep. Some satellites had been destroyed. Communication systems were slow. Parts of Lunar Station Echo needed repairs, but people didn't give up. Teams from every country worked side by side. The Earth Defense Alliance was no longer just a name. It was now a global force for survival. Dr. Sarah Lynn led the rebuilding of Earth's space shield system, called the Falcon Ring, in honor of Falcon 3. "We won the first battle," she said. "Let's make sure we're ready for the next." 1. A new threat. While Earth recovered, Orion 7's crew studied the strange signal they had received after the battle. The message was clear. "We see your light. Remember your fire." Dev Patel had decoded more. The message came from outside the known galaxy. It used ancient encryption, kind Kale hadn't seen in thousands of years. Kale's face was unreadable. "I thought they were gone," he said. "But if they're alive, they could be dangerous." "Who are they?" Lena asked. Kale looked down. "They are called the E3, not machines like the Sphæron, not killers, but proud, powerful, broken. The Etheria long ago, before. The Sphæron Kale's people had fought the Etheri. They were a race of energy-bound warriors, living in star-forged bodies. Their minds were sharp, their pride even sharper. They believed only the strong should survive," Kale explained. "If they come back now, they'll test us. It's not just with weapons, but with choices." Alina thought for a moment. "Then we'd better show them what Earth is made of."
Training.
The next generation on Earth, space academies opened. Young people who once dreamed of flying now trained for war. But not just war, they trained to protect, explore, and lead. New pilots trained in Orion 7 simulators. Engineers learned alien tech. Diplomats studied ancient alien languages. The human race had changed. It had grown. Alina spoke to the first group of cadets. "You are not just soldiers. You are the bridge between Earth and the stars." Orion 7's new mission, with new upgrades and fresh crew members, Orion 7 was no longer just a warship. It had become Earth's first interstellar command ship. Kale would remain as its protector and advisor. Alina would stay as captain. Sarah, Dev, and Kenzo would continue to lead science, communication, technology. Their next goal: explore the edge of the galaxy, find out where the Sphæron came from, and prepare for the E3. "The stars are not empty," Kale said. "And neither is your future." A message to the universe before launch, Earth sent one final signal into space. A simple message. "We are the people of Earth. We are alive. We are ready, and we are not alone anymore. The signal traveled far. It passed burning stars, broken ships, and black space, and in a distant corner of the galaxy, something heard. End of Part 8, New Beginnings. The war had started with a signal. It ended for now with hope. Earth was no longer weak. It's no longer afraid. With Orion 7, Kale Varen, and the brave people of Earth standing together, a new era had begun. An era of danger, an era of discovery, an era of heroes. And this was just the beginning.